suit used to cost an ounce of gold, which was $20 at that time when gold was an ounce, when gold was $20 an ounce. And when it became, $1,000, a good suit cost $1,000 in the US. So it tends to maintain its value. Bonds at the same rate have grown to $13,000, $14,000. CPI, which is again a staggering number for me, has grown to only 14.38. So $1 in 1801 is equal to $14 only in 2001. Let me remind you that from the audience, for the equities, the numbers I got were 10,000, 5,000, 100, and 1 million. And for gold, I got 5,000, 7,000, 100,000, and 12,000. The case in point here is that equities should not be viewed in terms of short-term gains or losses when you're looking at retirement funds, but more in terms of matching long-term liabilities. And again, I'd like to point your attention to the fact that given our market's history, any liability longer than 7 terms should be a pretty good match for with equities. Now, one more thing that we've come across is the word risk is loosely associated with equities with many people. Every time you talk about investments, people seem to refer to equities as risk. Risk is something that presents itself in many ugly ways and is basically uncertainty. And in terms of ALM, needs to be quantified and measured on an ongoing basis all the time. When you're looking at retirement funds, there are 4 major components of risk that you should be looking at on a given basis, on pretty much every given day, which is equity market risk, inflation rate risk, interest rate risk, and longevity risk. Equity market risk is the risk of your equities, changing in value. Now, this can be quantified using value at risk, and what that does for you is it quantifies and gives you a number, which is your worst case probable loss or a probability-based number. So when you see something like 1 year VaR 71 million, what that means is there is a 99% probability that you will not lose more than 71 million on your fund in 1 year in terms of your equities exposure. Similarly, you can quantify your exposure in terms of inflation rates and interest rates. Longevity risk is the risk of people living longer. Now, that's a good thing, but in terms of funds, liabilities can increase very sharply in value when people live longer. Just to show you what's happening in Pakistan and what is projected to happen in the future, this is what Pakistan's population pyramid looked like in the year 2000. This is based on US Census Bureau numbers. This is what it's expected to look like in 2025, and this is what it's expected to look like in 2050. What's happening here? What's happening is all the younger people are getting older and living longer. So you have in your hands an aging population that is going to live longer and will become a burden. Your expected life in Pakistan in 1970 used to be 47. In the year 2000, it became 59. In 2015, it's expected to be 65. And in 2050, it's expected to be 74, 75 years. A comparison with other countries is presented up on the screen. India is slightly better off than us, also improving, but Pakistan is forecast to have a better improvement rate by 2050. Iran is better off. Italy has a very high life expectancy already and is going to improve. All of these mean longevity risk and liability is increasing. I'm going to conclude with this. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask me and I can address them right now. Or for that matter, for anyone in the panel. Is there a question? Okay, Jay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Junaid. It's just an eye-opener for all of us that the gold value is not going to increase that much as because normally the ladies have this perception and also the parents just to save the money in terms of the gold. And we're talking about that what was the price of the gold when we got married. Just within 2 or 3 years, I think it's more than double. Okay, now.
Let me actually clarify that. In Pakistan, it's a different variable because in Pakistan, it's the dollar value multiplied by the dollar rate, and the Pakistani rupee depreciates. So for Pakistanis, the value might still increase over time.
Okay, thank you. Now we are going to invite the third speaker of this seminar, Mr. Faisal Malik, who is the head of the marketing department, must be a very innovative and creative person. That is why he is still heading the department. Now please welcome to Mr. Khalid.
Thank you, Ji. With your permission, Mr. Chairman. Assalamu alaikum जी, मेरा नाम फैसल मलिक है. थोड़ा सा इंट्रोडक्शन आपको शुरू में हो गया होगा. I will not waste much of the time because we have to break for dinner very soon. काफ़ी लोगों से मैं पहले मुलाकात कर चुका हूँ यहाँ पे, but I took the liberty of the cards that were initially deposited at the entrance where आपने जमा कराए थे, and I just went through them, and I saw it was a pleasure to see most of the people tonight this evening present over here belong to the corporate management, and some of them from the auditor side. जैसे शुरू में एक हमने सेंसस कराया था, उसमें कुछ ट्रस्टीज भी थे, लेकिन मेरे ख्याल ज़्यादातर लोग यहाँ पे जो भी बिलोंग करते हैं, they are managing the corporate affairs. Asset liability management पे हमने काफ़ी देर डिस्कस किया. Thing that I would like to add over here with regards to asset liability management, especially for employee funds, that it is the most since I go and meet every day almost. Most of you people have seen me before, but it's one of the most neglected area so far as the our job as trustees are concerned. इसकी main वजह ये नहीं है कि वो काम हम it's a new thing. It's basically because the trustees normally don't have time because they are mainly responsible for the company's bottom line. Employee funds in most of the cases is an additional task given to trustees, and that is the reason that most of the companies have started approaching a lot of professional advisors around and seeking their help. तो अब एसेट लायबिलिटी मैनेजमेंट के ऊपर हम बात कर चुके हैं एम्प्लॉय फंड्स के हवाले से. नाउ आई वुड लाइक टू ब्रिंग योर फोकस टुवर्ड्स its importance in the corporate treasury management, how we can use that. Corporate management के अंदर, corporate funds management के अंदर normally we try to remain on the shorter end और short term के लिए हम commit करते हैं अपने funds को. The short end investments होती हैं, those are our primary objective. Now we will try to keep this this session very interactive, and I will start throwing some questions to all of you, and in the return I will expect कि आप भी reciprocate करें इसी तरीके से. But एक सवाल मैं आप लोगों से ये करना चाहता हूँ कि जब हम corporate funds की management या liquidity management की बात करते हैं, तो किस किस्म की investments we normally do. Now obviously we will always say कि रिस्क नहीं लेना, जीरो रिस्क इन्वेस्टमेंट्स करनी है, कॉर्पोरेट फंड्स हैं, रिस्क होता क्या है पहली बात तो यह है, लेकिन ऑब्वियसली रिस्क नहीं लेना, और हम बहुत शॉर्ट टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट्स करना चाहते हैं. बट व्हाट आर दोज इन्वेस्टमेंट एवेन्यूज, वो क्या कौन से एवेन्यूज हैं जो ये क्राइटेरिया को आपके पूरे करते हैं नॉर्मली? द फोकस इज ऑन कॉर्पोरेट फंड्स. प्लीज डोंट मिक्स योर एम्प्लॉय फंड्स इनटू दिस. एनी इनपुट दैट आई कैन गेट, और आपसे बताएंगे साकिब साहब, अपार्ट फ्रॉम द फंड्स, नॉर्मली आप अपनी लिक्विडिटी मैनेजमेंट के लिए कौन से टूल्स या कौन से इन्वेस्टमेंट एवेन्यूज इस्तेमाल करते हैं? ओके, एनीबडी एल्स? गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड्स, बीआईबीज में? ओके, एंड एक्सक्यूज मी, टीडीआरस